Not a Nintendo Switch, an actual They redesigned them something awful.
I don't know anything about technology. I only know castles and, princesses.
Oh, come on, you haven't asked me.
I was on the AV squad in school, so
I was on the AED squad.
So was I wasn't paying attention to it. So what? Huh? Well, we're apparently self-moderating, so I guess we should start our self-panning. That sounds uncomfortable.
I'm super caffeinated, so watch out.
I've already had 2/3 of this.
This is product placement. They do nothing.
So is this, and they could really pay me any time. I've paid them a lot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I live in the Seattle area, so yeah.
A few samples. This is an outrage.
I know. All right then.
This is the thing.
Okay, ready, set, go.
Who are we?
My name is Kenny James. You may know me from such video games as all things Nintendo for the last 13 years.
And my name's Mike Pollock. I'm going to guess know me as Dr. Eggman from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I love you.
Approaching 15 years, but who's counting? And other stuff. We'll talk about it later.
Precisely.
Thank you. Right? If we get bored, we can screen it, but we don't have the technology. Sorry. Watch it at home. And we're gonna have a panel.
Ooh.
Yay!
Oh wait, that's the wrong tone, isn't it? More like.
Sorry.
Yeah. That didn't work either.
No. I got nothing.
Oh, they're still coming in.
Please join us. Have a seat in the back. Thanks. So,
Well, since we have nobody to lead this, then we'll just wing it.
sure. We can open the floor to questions immediately. Unless you have a prepared statement.
Let me check with my lawyer. That would be Nintendo of America.
One packet equals taste of one wedge. I don't know. Those are my prepared remarks.
That's crystallized lemon.
Yes. It sounds like drugs, but it's not.
I don't suggest using it as such either. It would
Please.
burn horribly.
Stingy.
Well, why are you here?
What are you expecting?
A versus battle. Just leave
You.
me. Walk right ahead.
You.
How did you get here so quickly?
I was in an airplane.
How do I grow up to be just like you?
Oh, it
No,
can't be pointing
you
at you, pointing at him.
I wouldn't recommend being just like me.
Oh, how do you like your, so Mike, how do you like your Eggman? Silly or serious? Or scrambled?
Tired. One of the joys of being an actor is being handed a script and presenting it. You're not there to judge, you're there to take the words and lift them off the page and set them free. So, I'm not picky.
Yes, we must breathe life into the character.
Sure. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here to watch this.
Yes, and I wouldn't breathe either.
Point out something. This point. Point over there. Use the pointing. Point at something. What's that? Please.
Sure. So, how do you all get into voice acting?
Oh, boy. Me or Mike?
I just watched.
That's true. You've been doing all the talking, so let me just go. I'm a narcissist, so I can handle it. Okay. Well, once upon a time, I was working as a curb finisher. Now, this is extruded curb. It's a machine that squirts out curb like concrete poop. And I decided that I wanted to be a voice guy, so I bought a website because it was 1999 or so, and I thought, that's all I need to do. I'm gonna have a website, I'll put up some sort of demo, and people will just hire me. It doesn't work that way. So I sat on that for a while. And then I started doing some little bits and pieces of things. I had some cat in Canada. Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's right over there. Right over there.
The banana nut?
Yeah. So he was having me do these one-liners for answering machines and stuff. So I was doing impersonations of other things. I was doing, he would have me going like, "Hey, Scoob, answer the phone, man." And I'd go, "No." He was paying me like $8 a line. I thought, wow, I've made it now. Well, I was working after that, working for Suburban Propane. And I was doing a job at a house, a rich person's house. Go figure. Bainbridge Island, Washington. And this lady overheard me talking to my work partner about doing voice work. And she sent my name and my web address with this demo that I had made to the production manager at Bad Animal Studios in Seattle. I live in the Seattle area. And she got a hold of me and started sending me auditions for some video games and stuff. And I was like, wow, now I've really, really made it. Well, they sent me over BOWSER, and I'm like, there's no possible way I'm gonna get this, but I'll record something. Standing in the dining room at my house, recording Bowserese kind of stuff. A couple weeks later, I get an email that said, "Hey, you got that job?" And I was like, "What job?" BOWSER. And I'm all like, "Nah, I'm not ready for this," you know? So that's how it started. And I suggest if you consider it at all, a lot of practice and some training. I didn't get enough training at first, and it will hinder you because you think, I sound great, I can do voices. And then you go and you actually do it, and people go, you need some training. So keep that in mind. Anyway, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And my story is just like that, except for all the curb extruded, which I didn't do.
Concrete poop.
Thank you, yes, exactly. I grew up as a kid loving theater and loving radio. And when it came time to pick a career, I figured, well, radio is slightly more steady than actors who are just working for a while and then the show ends and then they have to go find a new thing. It's kind of like that with radio, except you just get fired periodically. So I said, well, I'm going to focus on radio. And I did radio for a while and then got fired periodically. And between firings, I figured, well, you know, I've got this collection of voices that I kind of made a little demo reel of from doing wacky commercials and things. I'll put together a demo and send it around. And got a couple of anime roles. And a dinky little video presentation called Little Tug's Big Adventure, which is now apparently bits of it are on YouTube. It's not bad. It's not great. It's okay. And I did almost all the male voices because I didn't like the women's voices that I did, which is great. And then I got back on my little day job working for a radio syndication outfit, writing wacky comedy and song parodies and stuff that you'll never hear because I was uncredited. And while that was happening, then the anime stuff started growing with 4Kids TV and Kirby Right Back at You and Yu-Gi-Oh! And little Pokemon. And eventually Sonic X. And then when radio fired me for the final time, I was able to then fall back on doing this full time, which is tons more fun. And again, I'll give you the same advice. Training helps. Because of course I came in for radio, everybody. I did a lot of voices like that. Nobody wants to hear the voices. So I had the character voices that I was able to develop with the help of a coach. And now this happens. Question. Over on this side, near the front door.
How was it doing playing Ella the Maid?
It's tons of fun to play Ella the Maid because most people don't realize that I am also Ella the Maid.
He knew.
Thank you for knowing. here's how that came about ever so briefly. Booked the Sonic X thing, doing sound-alikes for Dean Bristow. Dean Bristow, and after recording the first couple of episodes, the producer came in and said, "Have we cast anyone for Ella the Maid yet?" And the director said, "No." "I'll have Mike do it." What did you have in mind? "Well, she's sort of a Latino woman, and okay, like this. Okay." I gave him some samples. Came back the next week. "So anything on Ella Maid?" "Oh, someone else got it." Week after that, "Oh, by the way, now you're Ella Maid." Okay. And so I was. In the back, right down the aisle.
What role did you do
In Kirby Right Back at You, I was the mayor and Bluster, guys. I was Sabo the bartender, who was slightly offensive. And a bunch of big characters, Kid Cosmos, Chef Shiitake, and Iroh's dad, who was just a bit tired, but he was always this guy and sounded also smart. "Well, hi, how are you?" My Syracuse, New York accent. Paid off for that.
Like, out of all your roles as Eggman, which one's your favorite one?
The best answer to give about a favorite role is I don't play favorites because I love working. And the next thing I'll be doing is Kiko Riki, which used to be Go-Go Riki on 4Kids TV, and we brought that back for Russian dubbing into English. I don't speak Russian, barely speak English sometimes. And I'll be doing 3 characters in that on Tuesday, and I couldn't be more excited. I love work. Take a hand, any hand.
You guy.
When they recast the whole Sonic crew, starting with Sonic Colors, that like I said, they recast all the characters except you. Why do you think that is?
I would like to think because they thought I was the best guy for the job. Just like, thank you so much. Just like with any audition, producers choose who they want, and they pass over those they don't want. So the results speak for themselves. That sounds hardly egotistical.
That's part of the biz.
Thank you very much. There's the Sonic hat. I wonder who your question was. Yes, I would.
You've been trying really hard, Kevin.
What's it like to succeed in failing? Like both of your characters pretty much always
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Well, my outlook on it is that Bowser kicks your ass probably more times than you kick his ass. Because you have to learn the patterns. So I win, then I lose. So it's really not that bad.
And it would seem to me that succeeding would mean the end of the rivalry and the end of the series, and that's not fun. So better to just be on the grass.
The battle continues.
But then you did come close last time.
For now.
He still beat you.
Mario is still out there.
Literally in this case.
Where?
Don't forget Luigi.
My hand there, Black Shirt is back.
Are there any roles that you regret not going out for that just in hindsight you wish you did try out for either of you?
Not for me. I don't think that I've been offered anything that I regret not getting. You know, you win or you lose, and there's a lot of losing, so you get used to it.
Yeah, I prefer to let the roles turn me down versus vice versa. So yeah, I don't recall turning down an audition because every audition is the possibility of working. So no, and the roles that have decided to go with someone else, they're lost. Ha ha
I've even tried accents that I can't do, just because I'm like, well, if they want an audition, I'll try it. You know, like the aforementioned Russian, it didn't go over good.
A no is just a no.
Yeah.
A hand. You through the aisle.
Of the two of you, which do you think has the worst adversary?
Wow. Worst adversary. Well, I think we probably have equal like/dislike for both, or all. I mean, me, I have to focus on one guy.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know about you. You got
I've got
a bit of a crowd.
Yeah, I've got the team approach. They're both hateful in their own ways, I guess, from our perspective. So that may be an unanswerable question.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta give Mario a little bit of a break, because I mean, I keep stealing his chick. So, you know, I mean, I kind of understand. Even though it doesn't seem like a very good match. I don't know why I keep trying. There's no logic.
Nintendo logic.
Such a lovely princess can't love a fire breathing monster.
All right, how about Weapon Man?
Out of each respective games, which is your favorite and why?
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm going back to officially I don't play favorites, but if I had to play favorites, probably Sonic Colors, because it was the turn of the comedy. Yeah, it was just a nice switch of clever comedy material that I can figure out and laugh at and make fun out of. So, yeah. Okay.
Mine would probably be 3D Land because of Meowser. 3D World. Meowser was something, I go in to record this thing and I see it on the script. It says Meowser, and I said, what's a Meowser? I mean, I sort of got it, you know, but I had to try to get this clarified. I'm like, what? And they go, it's a cat Bowser. And I said, what do you want him to sound like? And they go, we don't know. This is part of voice acting that can get really bizarre. So you just have to make it up. And so I came up with, I mean, you've heard it if you've played it. I used a combination of a wildcat sound, best I could do one, which is kind of a, but try to combine that with Bowser, which is, and so you come up with a, I feel it. And the thing is that the scary part of it was that I recorded all of those dialogues on a Friday, and I had another session on the following Monday, which I had to recover from a 2-hour session on Friday, and if you know what Bowser sounds like, it can get tough. So I go back in on Monday, and the first thing I did was ask the producer, I said, what about the Meowser tracks? Oh, we're translating an email from Japan right now. And I was like, Japan? So I'm waiting for the news, and I'm just sitting there going, I don't want to do Meowser again. And finally they're like, all right, we got the word from Japan. They liked it. And I was like, oh, God. I was like, that's so great. So what do we got for today? I had to finish up a few things, but yeah, that's my favorite because of that reason, because of the challenge of the Meowser. Anything else?
As a character with no real words, what do your scripts say?
Yeah. You know, the really fun part is when the producers and stuff go, well, you want something kind of like, they'll make some noise. They're sitting across the glass, and they hit the talk back, and they're like, dude, kind of a, like you're, well, like throwing a banana peel, you know, like in a cart game. And he's all like, what? And I'm like, I got you. But yeah, the script itself, it'll just say short jumps. long jumps, falling. A lot of falling in those games, especially in the cart. You know, you get in a cart, I can't keep it on the road.
Rainbow Road.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my nemesis.
Suspended under lava.
Yeah. I do a lot of falling and drowning. Burning in lava. Yeah.
The back, in the back, standing up there. Yep, forward. Yes, sir.
I have a question for Kenny.
Sure.
What do you think Bowser's lines and voice in Mario Sunshine?
Well, that wasn't me.
Yeah, cool to hear you say those lines.
That was before my time. That was, I think, Scott Burns.
I would say it sounds like a monster.
Yeah. And you know, to tell you the truth, when I got the auditions, that's what they had for reference tracks. And so I was like, I can do that. And when I finally got it and I actually go to record, it turns out they didn't want anything like that at all. So, you know, it became the more guttural, growly Bowser that everybody knows, you know. So no, I don't do the sunshine.
Nothing to do with that.
It's too cartoony.
I just want to hear your best Showtime.
Showtime. Yeah, people seem to like Showtime. Oh, God. Showtime! Yeah, that is. And, you know, Bowser has said Mario, even though it comes out, it sounded like he's been on, like, pain relievers or something. It's all...
It's like Jabba's speech. Like Jabba's speech from Star Wars.
Kinda. I don't weigh as much.
I'm not very good at interesting questions, but I have one for each of you. Mr. James, how do you feel about the fact that of year after year, essentially just screaming into a microphone and nothing else?
Well, let's go back to I got hired. Yes, money is good, money is wise.
The toughest part?
How do I feel about it? I like it. It's a challenge. It's a little painful. Sometimes I can taste blood.
Oh.
No, I'm serious. It sounds shocking, but if you go for 2 hours, after a while you start to taste like you're sucking on a penny. What it tastes like.
He's not lying, I've tried it.
Yeah.
And for you, Mr. Pollock, is it really true that you were in hentai?
Sure.
Like you wouldn't turn that one down.
No bodily fluids were exchanged. All I took off was my vest. It's work. It's an acting challenge. It's a different type of acting challenge, obviously. Wanted to see if I could do it. I could. Question? Yes, please.
This one's for you, Mr. Kenny James.
Sure.
Considering that Mario won, considering that Bowser won in the intro cutscenes to both Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Odyssey, and in Paper Mario and in Sticker Star, compared to the number of times that your character has lost, wouldn't that technically break it a bit even? In terms of
It all depends on how
conflict?
much you play.
Well, I played pretty much every game and lost to Bowser a few times in Sticker Star, so that's why I kind of made the comparison.
Yeah, well, it seems like he always comes back. He's always there.
Yep.
Every time Bowser turns around, Mario is there. Yeah, Bowser never dies though. He just gets really sad. He falls and he falls and he falls and he hits the ground and he's laying there and then Mario comes up like he feels sorry for him and Bowser's just sad. You see me looking at you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what do you think Eggman's reaction to Mario would be, and what would Bowser's reaction to Sonic in the group be?
I would think that
Just in the show, like say if they had their own show crossover.
I would think that Dr. Eggman had some plumbing needs that would need to be attended to.
I think Bowser would be happy that he distracted Mario. So that I can finally get Peach on the ship and be gone before he notices.
And there go the two franchises.
Back there with you're standing? Yeah, I feel bad for you because you're standing. Go ahead. Mostly, as Bowser anyway, I have no clue. There's been times where I've actually acted to picture. They'll have rough cuts of some cutscenes, but I still don't. I don't know. And they won't even let me take my scripts home with me as a souvenir. Even though they say, like I said before, it'll say, quick jumps, long jumps, short growl, long growls, Bowserese for, he's gonna say a bubble this big, but it just comes out as and never matches the flaps. It's not like anime. They don't care if it matches.
And the dirty little secret is that as long as the director knows what's going on, the actors don't have to know. We make it sound like we know.
Yeah, yeah, they'll just tell you, do it again, but better. Yeah. Or do it again, wetter. You ever get that one?
Yeah.
Wetter. Yeah. More gurgle in it, I guess.
I've acted with a bottle of water in my mouth. Spread out, everyone. It's going to get messy. Gray shirts. That's it. Check your shirt. You.
What do you feel about the times where you have to partner up with Sonic or Mario to defeat a greater good or something like that?
What's going to work? Teamwork.
Real superpower of teamwork!
Nothing wrong with a little cooperation. There's strength in numbers.
That's why you lose every time with your army of robots, right?
Well, you can't win them ever.
What he needs is a big old metal gear. Like you win, but just not in the way you
win.
Yeah, sometimes it's a temporary state.
Win-ish. Please.
So, if you guys don't know really what's happening in the script, do you guys find yourselves making up backstories for the characters as you're acting out the lines that you are given?
Well.
So, like, they develop in your mind?
Well, for me, it's determination. It's ultimately just determination that maybe someday I'll have the upper hand, but so I try not to think about, well, I'm just going to get defeated anyway. So if I do that, then Bowser will just be going all like,
The whole process moves too fast. You walk in and you see the script for the first time, it's like, yeah, okay, go. So, yeah, there's more time to sound like you've put a lot of thought into it than there is to put a lot of thought into it. So, yeah, it's while the joy of acting in stage or film where there's tons of prep time is a wonderful thing, this is more the short order cook school of acting. It's like, okay, we need this. Okay. We put you on it? Great. All right, next. So yeah, there's not a lot of time for the fancy method acting backstory. So
no, you go in, walk up to the mic, you got a stand, it's got a script on it, I look at it real quick to see if there's anything really weird, and that's it. Then they're like, "All right, you ready?" I'm like, "Not really." But let's do it anyway.
Sometimes you'll be given a whole 10-minute backstory, and okay, start from the part where you said, "So this is what happens in this show." Yeah, as long as the director thinks it sounds right, that's good enough for me. Question, go to the back, the back in the middle, you with your two fingers up this guy. Please.
You don't have to.
The only reason I will is because I said it in Sonic Boom.
Oh.
And it was, here's the complete quote from that line in the show. Ah, Sonic the Hedgehog, snooping as usual, I see. Seize them!
Hey, Bowser dude.
So kind of more of a sillier question, but so both of the characters you predominantly play have a flair for showmanship. With like Bowser's
I wouldn't know anything.
Eggman's giant interstellar amusement park. If you could have one thing in their entire ensemble repertoire of whatever, what would you have?
Probably Bowser. The amusement park's a lot of maintenance involved. But the Eggmobile he's scooting around in. That'd be a cool way to get around. Sure.
I would prefer the big ship with the cannons over the like teacup. I would rather have the big ship.
Question the aisles.
The one with the orange?
Yes.
Yes. For Kenny particularly, if you got a game where Bowser actually has full English dialogue, how would that sound? Like somewhere around like think Harvey Atkin from the Super Show, if you know what that is.
Well, no, and R.I.P. Harvey. I think that if I was to have to do it, it would probably be a lot more growly than he did it, because that's my style. Between him and Scott Burns, they sounded like a really rough voice, like Bowser's just a grumpy dude, and mine is more of a guttural kind of a. So speaking like that, I can't even imagine.
That was awesome though.
Thank you. I don't know how it happens. I got a large vocal box thingy. Larynx. It recovers quickly, thankfully.
Have a good ear, nose, throat guy on call. That's my advice. Jay, yes, in the front.
Can you two do a conversation in the voices of your characters?
Theoretically.
Completely different languages.
Improv's not necessarily our specialty. So, Bowser, how's that speech therapy going? Not so well. Better luck next time.
Duck hunt guy.
What do you think, for each of you, what is your favorite cartoon impression?
Favorite cartoon impression? I'd have to think a while.
I'm gonna go with Ed Wynn because he's so sensible. Most recently, I got to do him in Sonic Boom. But of course, also I got to do your droopy dog, sir. Droopy dog, too.
I don't know. I have to draw on something a lot more recent, and that would be Pickle Rick. Yeah, I love it. Oh, jeez, Rick, I don't know. You know, and, shut up, Morty. That's my first Eggman. Justin Roiland is great. I love that guy.
The tealish aqua-shirted guy. Yes, you.
Yeah,
That's
There's a question for Mike.
Please.
How did that Eggman laugh from Sonic X come about? Like the that one? And what was your kind of reaction to that?
That's what they wanted. It was okay for a while. He's speaking of the that one. Not particularly a favorite, but that's what they wanted. The development of the voice, in a nutshell, they started with King Bristow, which is all down here. That was my audition too, pretty much. And that lasted for about 2 or 3 episodes of Sonic X before the director and producer said, we're looking for something with a little more range for comedy. And the reference they gave me was Martin Short's Jiminy Glick character. Oh, God. He starts at my hand and goes way down low. So what is it that you think you're doing? So we had a lot of highs and lows happening. And then they came to this laugh. And I said, and we want, do you now? All right. So I gave them that. And a little bit of footnotey trivia. When I had about a 2-month stint of laryngitis because I was a moron, attention, and I couldn't do Ella or that high-pitched laughy thing. TV's Dan Green was my stunt laugher, unbeknownst to me. I heard that in the episode playback. I said, that's not. Yeah, it's challenging even on good days. On bad days, I couldn't do it. But all right, you learn to give the director what they want. You don't judge, because you're there to serve, just like a server at a restaurant. I don't like cilantro, but I'll happily serve you stuff with it.
Now I'm scared. How about the little guy in the orange back there? Yeah.
Will you ever remember Luigi's name?
He did a dream team!
He does remember it.
I don't know, I try to forget all of them.
Hilarious.
You with the white wrap thing, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that was you.
Yep. Yeah. Sure.
Stand before the class. Oh, wait, we were in the same class.
Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric? Well, I know what everyone else's thoughts are on the Sonic Boom game. It was all right. My not being a gamer and being more of the acting guy, I enjoyed recording it. One really cool thing about the Sonic Boom game, unlike most games where you're recording separately in a room all by yourself, we got to record more or less ensemble style. Although for me, ensemble style being in New York while they're in LA, I'm still alone in a room. They get to hear everyone else on the other end of the headphones having a grand old time. And recording it just more or less like an episode of the cartoon. All ensemble style, reading down the script, and it was really cool. So recording it was a great experience. For those for whom it was not a great experience to play, sorry for any inconvenience.
He's not responsible for the development.
Made it okay.
Thank you very much.
A post-ambush ambush.
We do what we can. Water bottle, great trick.
What is it like when what is it like having to have like with the studios in the different parts of the world, having to communicate between certain parts?
It's no different than talking on Skype, because very often that's what it is. It's talking on Skype. As Rush Limbaugh was prone to say when I was running his show while working on the radio, as long as I'm here, it really doesn't matter where here is. So I can record from pretty much anywhere where it's a reasonably solid sound recording environment. And producers can also be anywhere. They put it all together when it's done. I'm not entirely sure how sometimes, but yeah, it's great to work together, but even most stuff where you think it's recorded all together, it's usually not. So it's great to work. This is the closest I've been to an actor in months. But it's great to work with people, but part of the skill set involved is to learn how to act by yourself as though you're acting with other people. So you get used to that really fast.
Yeah, I actually have only met Charles Martinet twice. Today was number 2. I met him at the studio once, and he was getting there, and I was getting ready to leave, and I was like, "Hey, you're Charles Martinet," and he's like, "Oh, you're that Bowser guy." I was like, "Yeah, that's me. Okay, I'm gonna go get on the ferry now."
Say hi to the Bowser guy, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I've had exactly those interactions.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like Mike said. It's you hardly, at least with games, it seems that you don't record in the same room, and if you're lucky, you can do from home. Yeah, I have to go to Bad Animal Studios in Seattle. So.
They didn't trust you?
No, actually, they like to have me in the room, so they can see me. And when I recorded for Odyssey, they had Japanese bigwigs on Skype. It was probably 2 o'clock in the morning there or something, and they're watching. I had a laptop sitting next to me, and I thought it was just for the producers so that I don't know why, but once I found out that I was live in Japan while I was recording, I started making faces at them and stuff. It was fun. I'd be all, and then I'd go. I'd give them something to laugh at.
And quite the opposite with the Sonic stuff, where they're in LA and I'm in New York most of the time. And I said, we can add video to this so we can see each other. No. No.
All right, we got time for maybe 1 or 2 more.
Sure. Final hands.
A cell phone guy. You've been trying. You've been trying hard.
Yeah, for Mike Pollock, I was wondering, with those Sonic takeovers on Twitter, what was the recording process like for those?
Those are cool because I get to fly out to LA and go to their PR team actually in Pasadena, close enough. And we sit in a room, they write up some scripts, and it's all done almost in real time. They start out with an intro piece or 2 that we can pre-record, and then once the Twitter thing goes live, we start watching the Twitter feed and say, oh, that would make a good question. Let's write up a wacky answer. We all get together, my ideas get rejected, and then
all right. We have been informed this is the last question. We better pick a good one.
Oh no. Oh no.
Giant placard stripy shirt character.
Okay. Yeah, she's been trying hard too.
Here.
Every scene where Sonic got to insult Eggman, and I just wanted to a little bit recently, and I just want Eggman's reaction, by the way. I'm a Sonic Shield. In case you don't know, I'm creator of the original yellow, but I transformed to this one, and I'm encountering Eggman, and Bowser can laugh if he wants to, if he likes it. So, Eggman, let's stop for a moment. My birthday? Alright.
Stripes shirt. Oh God.
Sounds more sophisticated than that. So why do you have to say me now? See something now. Not gay.
Well, I believe William Shakespeare said it best when he said, "What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet."
Ah!